In the 1960s, scientists on Earth discovered that the neutrino emissions from the Sun, produced by the nuclear reactions that power it, were drastically lower than expected. This alarming finding led to a secret session of the International Astronomical Union, where it was confirmed that the Sun would become a nova around the year AD 3600. In the centuries that followed, humanity developed advanced technologies to ensure its survival. These included the creation of seeding ships capable of transporting human and mammalian embryos, and later, stored DNA sequences, along with robotic parents to habitable planets. Sending live humans was deemed unfeasible at the time due to the immense fuel requirements of rocket-propelled spacecraft that could carry thousands of people across interstellar distances within a reasonable time frame. One such seeding ship was dispatched to the remote oceanic planet Thalassa, which was considered potentially habitable. In the year 3109, the ship successfully established a small human colony there. Over the generations, this colony grew into a population of tens of thousands. The Thalassans, as they came to be known, developed a peaceful, stable society untouched by religion or supernatural belief. Approximately 400 years after its founding, the Thalassan colony experienced a volcanic eruption that destroyed its communication systems, including a giant radio dish. Due to a cultural tendency toward procrastination, the Thalassans never repaired the damaged system. As a result, they lost all contact with Earth and remained unaware of humanity's further advancements, including the development of manned interstellar travel. Meanwhile, Earth presumed the colony had either been destroyed or had regressed into barbarism due to the communication blackout. Less than a century before the projected nova event, scientists on Earth achieved a major breakthrough: the invention of the quantum drive. This engine harnessed the limitless power of zero-point energy, making it possible to send large numbers of humans through space aboard massive interstellar vessels. One of these ships, the Magellan, was constructed to carry nearly 1 million colonists in cryonic suspension on a 5-century-long journey to a distant planet named Sagan II, which was selected for terraforming and colonization. The Magellan launched shortly before the Sun exploded into a nova. Only 3 years into the voyage, the crew of the Magellan witnessed the destruction of Earth. More than 200 years after the nova and the end of Earth, the Magellan arrived at Thalassa, approaching the midpoint of its voyage to Sagan II. Its primary objective was to replenish its massive ice shield, which had protected the ship from micrometeoroids during its interstellar travel. With 95% of its surface covered in water, Thalassa was the ideal location for this task. To the crew's astonishment, they discovered that the Thalassan colony had survived and was thriving. At this point for the Thalassans, marine biologist Brandt, his partner Mirisa, and her brother Kumar, who lived typical Thalassan lives, marked by quiet stability and a society free from religion and supernatural influence. Several crew members of the Magellan were awakened to oversee the mission, including young engineer Loren Lawrenson and esteemed statesman Moses Kaldor, while the majority of the 900,000 passengers remained in hibernation. The arrival of the Magellan was a monumental event for the Thalassans, who never expected to see or hear from other human beings again. To the crew, Thalassa offered a peaceful and beautiful environment, and they were warmly welcomed by its inhabitants. A love story developed between Loren Lawrenson and Mirisa, highlighting the cultural differences between the two societies. The Thalassans were free from monogamy and sexual possessiveness, an unfamiliar concept to the emotionally strained crew members of the Magellan. Due to these differences and the extended stay required to refreeze the ship's ice shield, some crew members became disenchanted with the original mission to Sagan II, and a threat of mutiny emerged. At the same time, a gentle, paternal relationship developed between Moses Kaldor and Mirisa. Deeply affected by the loss of Earth and his wife, Moses provided Mirisa with insights into the long-lost culture of Earth, introducing her to concepts such as war and religion, which were alien to her and her people. During the Magellan's stay, the Terrans and Thalassans became aware of potentially intelligent life in Thalassa's oceans. Massive sea creatures, nicknamed scorps, due to their resemblance to Earth's sea scorpions, were discovered to be responsible for the theft of metals and wiring from underwater projects, including a fish-trapping tool being developed by Brandt. While many dismissed the scorps as mere animals, Moses Kaldor believed they could evolve into an intelligent species in the future. Several unforeseen events began to shatter the illusion of an idyllic life on Thalassa, reminding the crew of their duty to continue the mission to Sagan II. A sense of tragedy began to unfold. The relationship between Loren Lawrenson and Mir Issa came to an end. Though their love was deep, it was ultimately fleeting and doomed by circumstance. Mir Issa chose to conceive a child with Loren, but due to a sudden change in the mission schedule caused by the looming threat of mutiny, Loren was forced to leave before the birth. He never met his son. Brandt, Marissa's partner, accepted and raised the child as his own. The dissatisfied members of the Magellan's crew were granted their request to remain on Thalassa. Their presence promised to influence the Lassan culture forever. The Magellan then departed and, after 3 more centuries, finally arrived at Sagan II. Upon awakening from cryonic sleep, Loren Lawrenson accessed the archive of messages and video logs sent from Thalassa during the voyage. Through them, he witnessed the lives of Mir Issa and his child, both long gone, closing the story with a bittersweet blend of sorrow and enduring hope.